MAVAKAGA.
Okay, so get that we're diving into a story from Malaysia.
Oh, cool.
It's about an immigration raid.
Okay.
But, here's the thing.
Yeah.
One guy got stuck in a toilet window trying to get away.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Our source is this article, and it's just called Pasted Text.
Literally pasted text.
Yep. Pretty straightforward. But the story,
Sounds wild.
yeah, it's a wild ride. Are you ready to jump in?
Let's do it. It sounds kind of funny at first,
Right.
but it really makes you think about a much bigger issue here.
Definitely. So the article talks about this overnight operation in Kuala Terengganu,
Okay.
and the authorities targeted this flat.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently it was housing illegal workers,
Right.
and they blocked off every single exit.
Really?
Yeah, like stairs, elevators, everything.
Wow.
Which is probably why this guy tried to squeeze through a window.
Can you imagine being that desperate?
It's crazy, right?
Yeah, what must have been going through his mind?
Seriously, the fear, the desperation.
Exactly.
So anyway, they ended up checking 218 people. And 35 were detained.
Okay.
And get this, they came from all over.
Like where?
Bangladesh, Indonesia, India, Pakistan, Myanmar.
That's a lot of different places.
I know, it's really interesting, actually.
It is. It kind of shows you that Malaysia attracts workers from all over the world.
Yeah, and that probably has something to do with their economy.
Right. Their economic influence in the region.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, and the article also mentions the ages of the people who were detained.
Oh, really?
Yeah, from 15 to 53 years old.
That's a huge range.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It really makes you think about why these people might end up in a situation like this.
For sure, a 15-year-old story is probably very different from a 53-year-old's.
Exactly.
You have to think about the levels of risk and vulnerability.
Absolutely. So the article also talks about how some of the workers tried to escape through emergency stairs and elevators.
Oh, so they were prepared.
Well, not prepared enough.
Right.
Because the authorities were one step ahead.
Yeah.
They had already blocked all those routes.
So this was like a planned operation.
Seems like a well-coordinated one, too.
Yeah, it doesn't sound random at all.
No, not at all. It sounds like they had specific information that led them to that flat.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
So those who were detained were taken to an immigration detention depot.
Okay.
And they're being investigated for either not having the right documents or for overstaying their visas.
I see.
So what happens to them now?
Well, that's where it gets a little complicated.
How so?
Because there can be serious legal consequences.
Oh, right.
Not just for the workers themselves,
Oh,
but also for anyone who employed them.
okay.
And actually, the article mentions 2 locals being summoned.
Really?
Yeah, so it seems like they're going after those who profited from illegal labor, too.
So they're really trying to crack down.
Yeah, and that's a pretty common response.
Like, to just enforce the laws more strictly.
Exactly. But this whole story brings up some important questions.
Such as?
Well, for one, what are the bigger issues that are driving people to work illegally in the first place?
That's a really good point. It's easy to just focus on the breaking the law part of it.
Right, exactly.
But there's always a reason why people do things like this.
Absolutely. And this situation is a powerful reminder that behind all the headlines and the statistics,
They're real people.
with real stories.
Exactly.
So it makes you think, is there a better way to deal with this issue?
Yeah, rather than just trying to enforce the law more and more strictly.
Exactly. What else can be done?
It's definitely something to think about.
It is, for sure.
Well, that's all the time we have for our deep dive today.
It was a good one.
It was. Thanks for joining me.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
MAVAKAGA.